we've got him on the line right now. We want to get to him right away because he's a busy guy. He is Indiana County District Attorney Bob Manzi joins us today here on Indiana in the Morning, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Bob, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us here today. It's the beginning of July, as you were telling me a couple of minutes ago. All right, second half of the year begins now. Let's make it better than the first half.
Let's make it. I don't know that it could be worse. Let's make it better.
Well, unfortunately, it can get worse. Let's hope that it doesn't, and we will work our hardest to make it better. Bob, of course, we start out the second half of the year every year with the 4th of July weekend, and unfortunately, there are some things that people aren't always vigilant about, and I know that it's a concern for you every year at this time as well, that everybody remains safe and that nobody harms anybody else through their behaviors, and drinking is right there at the top of it.
Oh, absolutely. You know, with the 4th of July comes barbecues and fireworks and gatherings with friends and family, and unfortunately, there's a very small portion of us that have a little too much to drink and decide to get behind the wheel. And I wanted to come on today just to kind of bring that concern to the forefront as we go into the weekend, and to ask everybody that if you're going to be drinking, please find a driver, stay on your friend's couch. Having to go back the next day to pick up your car is not the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Of course, we rely on the law to protect us, but it really comes down to people making personal choices. Laws are only as effective as their enforcement, and as people consider them to be deterrents to some pretty bad behaviors that can hurt others. And that's really the bottom line, is you run the risk of hurting yourself, but others as well.
Oh, absolutely. You run the risk of hurting or killing yourself. You run the risk of hurting or killing some innocent family that's driving home from fireworks that night. The risk is not worth the reward of getting your car home. It just simply isn't.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So what are some of the things that concern you as a district attorney when you head into a weekend? I know you don't want any of those DUI crashes and things of that nature, but what are some of the things on your mind?
Well, you know, just thinking about this weekend, and I heard earlier in your program today going through the number of state police citations and arrests, you know, one of my concerns is that people are going to barbecues, and especially this year where we've been cooped up inside for a substantial amount of time. People want to get back out with their friends. They want to have that barbecue. They want to feel normal. You know, you're seeing friends you haven't seen for a while, and maybe have an extra drink or two, and it's unsafe for you to drive. You know, add on top of that, it's going to be a hot weekend. People are going to be dehydrated. It's going to amplify the effects of the alcohol. So I think it's just very important that people go into the barbecues and the time they're going to spend with their friends with a plan of who's going to drive us home, or, you know, if we have too much, can we just stay here? And of course, people or your friends are going to say, absolutely, stay here, drive home tomorrow morning. It's just safer for everybody around.
Yeah, and if you have temperatures, as you said, we're going to be in the 90s this weekend. When it's like that, people tend to drink more in order just to be refreshed. And unfortunately, if there's too much alcohol involved in any event, any get-together, that's when the trouble can start. And it's not just getting in behind the wheel of a car. There can be other behaviors that have a very, very negative effect on people. So I guess what it means to me is party hosts have special responsibilities, don't they?
You know, you do. You have that special obligation to your friends and family. If you're going to have people over and you're serving alcohol, don't be shy if you have to step up to a friend and say, hey, you've had too much. I think you need to stay here, or let me get you a ride home. You know, people don't mean harm, but when you've had too much, your judgment is impaired. Maybe you think you're better off than you really are. And that's a time for friends and family to really step up and say, hey, it's not safe for you to get behind the wheel of a car. Let me drive you home. Let someone else drive you home. Stay here. Be safe. The people try to get their cars home, or they just say, I'm fine, I'm driving home. You're risking, again, hurting or killing yourself, somebody else. If you're pulled over and arrested for DUI, now your name's in the news. Now you have a criminal case against you. You have a criminal history. You're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in fines and court costs and license suspensions and defense attorneys. And it's always one of those decisions that it's just not worth it.
Yeah, insurance payments will go up too. Your premiums go up when you get something like that on your record. You need only look at the Indiana County court schedule when it's DUI criminal call to realize how bad of a problem it is. And I don't know that it's worse here in Indiana County than it is anywhere else, or it's better here in Indiana County, but I know it's way too many. When we have DUI criminal call in Indiana County, the list is 6 or 7 dozen cases at one time, and that's just way, way too much.
It is, and I believe part of it is we have really good law enforcement who are taking the time. They're able to find indications of intoxication from drivers to affect the traffic stop, make sure they're safe. They're getting arrested for DUI if so. So we have really good law enforcement who are taking the time to detect that and to protect everyone else and themselves from the DUI driver.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need to pay attention to all of that. I know that you are as impressed as I am that our law enforcement agencies themselves, they take special measures over the holidays. Not only do they mount extra patrols, but a lot of this is volunteer time that these police officers and others are giving.
When you're seeing, to the extent, especially what I'm able to see from the inside, the extent that law enforcement goes through to make sure that our community's safe, it's simply amazing. You see the story of Trooper Onder yesterday helping a young lady fix a car on the road. It's great to see those types of stories come to the limelight, but they're happening every day around our county. These officers are really taking great care of the people in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we salute them all. While I have you on the line, it's probably a good thing to review some other things that come up when you get to hot weather situations such as this. Pennsylvania does have laws now on the books about leaving pets in cars, and certainly leaving children in cars is a terrible, terrible idea as well. When you have hot weather like this, those are laws that need to be paid attention to. Even if they're misdemeanor class, they are serious parts of your criminal history, and you don't want them.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the dangers of leaving children in a hot car just to run into a store or just to do something. Again, when you talk about what's your reward for doing that, it's just not worth it. A car can heat up so quickly that, by the time you run in and run out, the temperatures can be over 100 degrees. And you're talking about some significant health issues.
Yeah.
And then leaving your pets in there, they're no different. Leaving them in a car where temperatures are going to be over 100 degrees very quickly is not only dangerous, it's criminal.
Yeah, it absolutely is. In fact, when you go to our Facebook page and you see that graphic with the Pudliner story, which I thought was so good, there's another graphic there, a table. It says heat-related deaths are preventable. Look before you lock. The temperature in your car can quickly become deadly. When the outside temperature is 80 degrees, in 10 minutes your car gets up to 99. In 20 minutes to 109. In a half an hour, your car, this is at 80 degrees outside, it's 114 inside. And after an hour, it's 123 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing how hot and how fast it gets that hot in 80-degree weather. And with temperatures going up to, I believe you said earlier, 94, it's only worse.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so from the district attorney's perspective, you'd like to have a nice, peaceful weekend where you can enjoy your picnic and not have to be called in for some special measures that have to be taken because of people who can't control themselves. And so everybody needs to behave themselves and be responsible this weekend, correct? Would that be the message today?
That would be the message. Enjoy a nice hamburger on the grill. Enjoy some good, safe time with your friends and with your family, but don't let it turn into something it doesn't need to. It's just not worth it.
Terrific. All right. Are you a burger or dog man?
I am a hamburger guy.
You're a hamburger guy.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Attaboy. District Attorney Bob Manzi, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Todd. You take care and enjoy the 4th.
You too. We'll see you.